The President of the United States, Joe Biden, is all set to embark on a crucial visit to Israel, West Bank and Saudi Arabia as part of a 4-day trip to West Asia. The visit, which aims to start a new chapter of America's engagement in West Asia, comes at a time when the United States is trying to find solutions to boost oil supplies to tame the soaring price rise. Reports suggest that Biden will confront a list of challenges when he travels to the West Asia this week. Israeli-Arab cooperation, Iran nuclear deal talks, and the long-dragged Israeli-Palestinian conflict are likely to be the key focus of the talks. In Saudi Arabia, Biden is likely to push for more Saudi oil output in the hope of curbing skyrocketing fuel costs and inflation at home. During a news briefing on Monday, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the U.S. needs to remain intensively engaged in West Asia because the region is deeply interwoven with the rest of the world.
It is his first trip to the Middle East as president. It is precisely because the world is becoming more geopolitically competitive, especially in the Indo-Pacific and Europe, that we need to remain intensively engaged in the Middle East. The Middle East is deeply interwoven with the rest of the world. And if we act now to create a more peaceful and stable region, it will pay dividends for the American national interest and for the American people for years to come.
Biden's upcoming West Asia tour has made headlines for several reasons in the recent past, including his stop at Saudi Arabia and a meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. In an opinion piece to Washington Post, President Biden cleared his stance, saying that his views on human rights are clear and long-standing, and that the issue of fundamental freedoms will be part of discussions in the upcoming visit. This can be seen as a reference to Saudi journalist Khashoggi's killing. U.S. intelligence concluded MBS was responsible for the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, an allegation that Saudi officials have time and again denied. The president even mentioned that his administration has reversed the Trump-era blank check policy, highlighting the bans and sanctions issued against Saudi officials. Biden says his visit to Saudi Arabia is necessary in positioning the United States to counter Russian aggression and to outcompete China. Last month, Biden had sought to distance himself from the mentions of the Saudi Crown Prince and had emphasized that his trip includes meeting with King Salman and other officials. But this week, the White House, in an official announcement, said that he will also visit MBS as a member of a larger delegation while on the trip. Biden's West Asia tour will not only be all about Israel, West Bank and Saudi Arabia. Biden will also participate in a key meeting of the newly formed I2U2 grouping. I2U2, which consists of India, Israel, the UAE and the United States, will hold its first virtual summit this week. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, US President Joe Biden, Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid and UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan will attend the summit. Some have called this the West Asian Quad. Discussions on food security crisis amid Ukraine war, economic cooperation and infrastructure projects are expected to be the focus areas during the summit. And for more on this, joining us live is Susan Teherani from New York. Hi, Susan. The president has a full diary with his West Asia tour. What's the update and the latest from the White House in regards to the highly anticipated visit?
Well, so first of all, President Joe Biden will be the first U.S. president to make a direct flight from his first destination, Israel, to Saudi Arabia, which will be his last destination. A symbolic move, nonetheless, despite the fact that we don't expect a breakthrough between Saudi-Israeli relationships, although the White House is saying that more incremental steps will be taken. Perhaps Israeli commercial aircrafts will be allowed to fly over Saudi airspace to other countries. But this will be a very different Middle East that Joe Biden will be visiting, since the last time he visited when he was vice president of President Obama. The Abraham Accords have been signed by former President Trump, and now there's more normalization of relations between Israel and other countries. And again, while there won't be, a concrete, all-out, perhaps normalization of ties between Israel and Saudi Arabia, both countries really enjoy strategic interests in the region, and notably that is countering Iran. President Biden will have obviously challenges in convincing Israel, the long-standing U.S. ally, about its position regarding the Iran nuclear deal. It's trying to reach a deal. Israel is against that. So is Saudi Arabia. President Biden also is shying away about talking about the fact that he wants to really bring up the issue of oil production when talking to Saudi leaders. Even when he penned that op-ed in the Washington Post about convincing the American people why he's visiting Saudi Arabia, he left oil out. He knows it's a touchy subject. And, many analysts believe that Saudi Arabia is at the capacity of producing oil. So is all OPEC plus countries. So, that is a very important issue to really note, because if he can't have success in that aspect of it, then a lot of other questions will arise on why President Biden met with MBS, took a back seat on his former human rights stance and calling the kingdom a pariah state, and then not getting anything in return. So a lot of moving parts, but those were some of the main aspects of it.
Right, thank you very much. Our correspondent Susan Teherani reporting live from New York. And also for more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen sent us this report from Ranana.
With Iran reportedly now having enough enriched uranium for a nuclear bomb, Iran will be top of Israel's agenda as it prepares for President Biden's arrival in Israel on Wednesday. Iran is thought to be providing Russia with armed drones, and President Putin is expected to visit Iran next week. And analysts are suggesting this could speed up a regional defense alliance in West Asia against Iran. Defense Minister Gantz has hinted at a possible breakthrough during President Biden's visit. Whether or not the Israeli-Palestinian peace process or normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia could make any headway will be being watched very closely. Analysts suggest we could see a series of small announcements suggesting Israel's further integration in the region. Top of the agenda for Biden, however, is likely to be an increase in oil production in Saudi Arabia to bring down fuel prices. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.